Hey, you want? Who's your daddy? What about your mom?
It's a shit show, but it's a hit, yo. Panel full of talkers, all bark, no soul. Drama's on tap, spilling fast and loud. Dollar signs flashing when they rile the crowd. Super chats rolling, they pay for the beef. Truth takes a backseat, clouds the belief. It's a shit show, baby, primetime gold. Numbers climb high while the morals get sold. Turn up the heat, let the chaos flow. Ain't about truth, it's a rodeo. If the views keep coming and the cash still grow, I'll stop the circus, let the madness go. Fake tears fall and the mic gets cut. One's playing victim, the other talks tough. Receipts get dropped, now the chat's on fire. A digital bonfire built from liars. But every low blow makes the money ring, so they keep on dancing in that drama swing. It's a shit show, baby, primetime gold. Numbers climb high while the malls get sold. Turn up the heat, let the chaos flow. Ain't no God truth, it's a radio. If the views keep coming and the cash still grow, I stop the circus, let the madness grow. There's a spotlight on the petty, and flames just clicks away. They don't care who they bury, as long as someone pays. It's a shit show, baby, but the lights still shine. Even fake crowns look good online. One big game where the real get paid, but the scoreboard's few, so the lights stay paid. Yeah, it's messy, ugly, and kind of slow, but welcome y'all to the shit show.
And greetings, everybody. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. Coming at you to show you some more of that insanity. So make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe button down there. We're with Tits Out and Balls to the Wall number 17. We got Copaholic 4 coming up. And I hope everybody enjoyed my new intro video. As it relates to the panel verse and the metaverse here, this is merely a replication of what happens in reality. So the insanity that the video exposes, it's the same rigmarole. You still have the same players, the little ankle biters, the clowns, the rodeo stars, the bull, the one that's being enticed, and the other older, bigger bull that's walking in and saying all you got to do is turn around, walk out. The whole thing. With our judicial system and how the law works here. So we're going to take a look at some insane clips again with the police. And we've got Russ here with us today. How you doing today, Russ?
Good. I hope everybody's doing well.
We are. And of course, Russ is familiar with the insanity like most of us. And he is an activist doing research and getting involved in his community. I only wish I could get as involved. But Always glad to have him up, and hope he will have his input again today when we go through these clips as it relates to the insane authority and insane accusations and probabilities and ifs that these people try to play, and what we can do to avert that. And that is simply by having some knowledge. So let's get into it here. First, we have the reason we need to speak out. Many people getting incarcerated falsely.
Michael Morton was convicted of killing his wife in Texas. He did 25 years. We were able to get a DNA test that proved him innocent. But what happened in that first case, Bill Allison, his defense lawyer, said, "Judge, I want you to order this prosecutor to turn over Detective Wood's police report from this case. We think there must be exculpatory evidence in it." So the judge ordered it turned over and put it in an envelope. Monday, they came in, started the trial, and the judge said, "There's no exculpatory evidence in here. Move on." Long story short, Ken Anderson, the prosecutor, never turned over the police report. They never called Detective Woods to testify, and nobody ever sees the envelope. Michael Morton was convicted while Ken Anderson then became a judge in Williamson County. 25 years later, when we did a DNA test, we found the real perpetrator who went on to commit another murder. It's the same MO. And we learned that Ken Anderson hid all this Brady material, including exculpatory evidence. So instead of just getting an exoneration, we held what they call a court of inquiry. We argued successfully in Texas that Ken Anderson was in contempt. So we not only took his license, he had to leave the bench.
According to the Innocence Project, although prosecutorial misconduct played a role in the wrongful convictions of 729 people exonerated since 1979, Ken Anderson remains the only prosecutor to have ever served jail time for it.
What do you think, Russ?
You know, I was sitting there thinking, it's time that people quit coddling this craziness. I think the judge should tell the prosecutor in the defense right off of the rip, "Hey, listen, there better not be no bullshit in any of this. It better be a fair deal. And if it ain't a fair deal and we find out later on down the road it's not a fair deal, you're losing everything. It's coming back on you."
Well, yeah, see, I think that's the position that the people need to take up. Again,
Exactly.
It's our ability, and before I go any further, let me explain what exculpatory evidence is. Exculpatory evidence is evidence that would likely lead, or has a greater likelihood to lead to a innocence finding rather than a guilty finding, or absolute dismissal because of certain facts. So say you got an alibi and there's 10 witnesses to that alibi that say you were across the country, but somehow they leave that out and go through a trial and convict you. And all those witnesses are wondering why. Well, because you aren't standing up. You're not saying, "Hey, wait a minute, where's our testimony as to that?" So when they try to hide stuff, people that are part of the exculpatory evidence, as far as witnesses and stuff, those are the things that you really need on your side. And this is why it's so important to, again, have the knowledge of how this system works and what those various different measures are. See, a prosecutor is supposed to do what's called a pre-investigation before bringing the charges. And this is part of it. So that if he runs across exculpatory evidence that says, "Hey, wait a minute, if this comes out in trial, we're going to lose." That's why they have a 95% win rate. It's because they leave out so much exculpatory evidence that would find innocence. It's pathetic. And understand that the Innocence Project is one project, and it only has, 729, they said, whatever it was. And that's a very low number according to what I deem, or through my research anyway, I see as being a much larger number of people that are in prison for reasons that are just blatant bullshit. You know, particularly a lot of these people that have possession charges, when they started changing the laws and they started getting quirky on them with one little definition or one little word. And
Right.
because somebody else used it in the title of their shop, well, obviously they're not for medical cannabis. Then they're here for marijuana or indica or whatever, you know.
I
And
think
so it's important to understand the words have meanings. Go ahead.
absolutely they have all the meaning. But I think if most Christians, if they really do truly believe in a higher creation, it would be much easier for them to look at these things from that spiritual side of things, because that's where that letter comes from. So when you start to understand more of that way, you need less of the other.
Yeah. Now the next one we got is a lawyer that evidently shuts an officer down. So let's listen to what the lawyer says.
I'm not going to get into that here. Do you have identification, please?
I don't on me, no.
You don't have
No,
identification?
I don't have identification on me, no.
Okay, you have no idea.
On me, no.
Okay, can I have your name, address,
Sure.
and birthday, please?
What do you need it for? Am I going to be arrested?
See, and that's the only problem I heard there was she said, sure. So she made an agreement. Now she's going to back out. So it's important to listen to people and their rhetoric, because on the other side, if I was the officer, I say, well, you already told me you're going to give me your name. Now you're being dishonorable. You know, if I was an honorable cop.
We get a call, we get to take a police report that we get a call.
Okay.
That's all.
What do you need my ID for? Why do you need my name?
And I'll point out, it's so we take a police report, we can put your name in the report in case somebody needs to know. No, when somebody else calls in on me and I ask who called in, they say, oh, it's anonymous. Okay.
We're here on a police call. We're having contact with you, and we're going to identify you and name you on our police report. That's what we do.
Okay. Well, I'd rather not give you my name.
Okay. Why would that be?
Because I don't think I'm doing anything illegal. I don't think I'm under suspicion of anything.
Okay. Well,
Why do I need my name?
You just told me that you're audio taping us, and I asked you not to do that under Pennsylvania wiretap laws.
Under Pennsylvania wiretap laws, excuse me, as a public servant, which is a public trust, you are in public and you have no privacy as a public servant in public. So at a police station, you're still in public. God damn.
You should actually be looked at even more, because you've been given some special privileges that says you're a good little boy.
Right. And see, when you think about a police station, though they're in public, they have a way to provide privacy. If they're in an office, they can shut the door, they can shut the blinds. But if they leave them open, I'm sorry, that's your onus of probandi of providing your own privacy. If you don't do that, then you have no right of privacy. So when they're on a call in public venue, they have no right of privacy. They're there for a public service, and the trust is that the public can see them in their activities, period.
Okay.
Okay. She told me she's not audio taping. Audio taping. I have no problem with that. I'm asking you to do the same thing.
Okay. Can we get a supervisor here?
Well, I'm not going to get into that here. Do you have identification?
So yeah, they're going to use every excuse they can to try to say you can't do that while I'm doing this, right? So understand the rhetoric and what the true regulations are as to how you can operate in these public venues. The next one we got, is it legal to be detained like this? Is it legal to be detained like this? Now, this is a lawyer's reaction to another video. The video is down here. You can't see it very well. I don't think I can. Yeah, that's still not gonna. Well, let's see. See if it'll do it. Hopefully that's better for you. And greetings, Fallen. How you doing today, brother?
Doing good, doing good.
Good to have you on board. So we've got a cop that's coming across, and listen to what he says as he tries to detain somebody in public.
Have a seat.
I'm not going to sit down.
I'm about to force you to sit down.
Am I detained?
Have a seat. That was his first directive. He didn't even introduce himself or anything. They go around thinking they just automatically have the authority to tell people what to do, and that is a lawful order. And that is bullshit. So,
Detained?
Yes, you are indeed.
What am I detained for?
Trying to break into the office.
I didn't break into
That's
office.
what the rule is.
So on
have a seat
camera.
right now, sir.
I can't.
and this is rhetoric that they try to use because somebody called him from one of the businesses because he was outside videoing, and they don't want him in the store. So they called because they were afraid he might come in, and they don't want him in there. So they're using the rhetoric of breaking in broad daylight when the store is open. Come on.
Can't sit down,
You
though.
can set that down so it can record, but I don't want it in your hands.
I'm not going to sit it down. And you don't have a right to search me either.
No, I'm going to take that away from you in a minute.
You don't have a right to.
You don't have a right to search me. No, I'm going to take that away from you in a minute. He just goes right past the 4th and 5th Amendment.
Do it.
I need your ID, please.
I'm not giving you ID. In California law, I'm only required to get arrested for a separate crime during the booking process.
So
No crime, no ID.
So right now, not the inside of the office, is it?
I didn't go into the inside.
Okay, trying to get in, sir?
I didn't try. Here, we go to prove anything.
Right now, that's debatable on your piece,
It's
sir.
not debatable.
Right now, that's debatable. Okay, he's got one side of the story. And then this guy says, no, that's wrong. I didn't try to break in. And he says, well, that's debatable. No, it's not. One party is lying. The other party is telling the truth. There is no debate.
What you talking about, Will?
So once again, why am I illegally being detained? And the clock's
Illegally being
ticking.
detained because we're responding to a call for service where you're trying to break in.
Call for service. For service. It wasn't a criminal call. It was a call for service. Understand the rhetoric.
Call for service does not mean you have to have what's called RAS, reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime being committed, about to be committed, or committed.
They left him alone when they realized they're getting schooled. Love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. Left him alone when they found out they were getting schooled. And that's the importance of learning what's going on and how to avert this stuff. Because even though they will approach you and you shouldn't be too aggressive, it's important to be aggressive enough in knowledge. Sun Tzu says to defeat one's opponent without fighting is of supreme excellence. This leads me to believe that we should use it in the context of our knowledge to rebut their idiocy. What do you guys think?
I
I
think
think
I
it's
get
all
it.
idiocy. But then you notice that's become the norm, though. They try to push that level of intimidation to get people to fold. And, I don't know. I just have a hard time accepting those types of behaviors out of grown-ass men anymore.
Right. And that's
And it's disgusting.
That's why I don't put up with it on my panels either, like you see on a lot of these other drama panels. What'd you have to say, Fallen? We missed that.
I think I get it a little too late because what you just said about basically addressing yourself before you address somebody else so that you don't come at them in a, I want to say a form of war instead of a form of words that, for me, I get it too late because it's like after the fact, like I'll walk into a building and I'll make it through the line and through the metal detector in a public building. And then they'll tell me I need to come back through and I'll stand there and I won't respond. Right. And I'll just look at them like, why do I need to come back through since the thing didn't beep red? And they'll say, you need to come back through, and I'll just stand there. And then finally I'll come back through and I'll look at him and then I'll walk right back through it and they'll go, no, you need to get back here. And I just look at him and don't say anything. And then they ask me where I'm going and I'll show them a paper or something. And then they give me permission to go. And then they try to tell me some just nonsense. It's like
And that's
people
because,
who,
and I think that's because you push their authority so much they know. So they're going to try to test it every little bit they can.
Right.
right. It's like every time I go there, they think of something new to try to jack me with because it's like if I govern myself and it says like no phones, no weapons, no firearms. So I go in there because I believe that I should be secure in my person's papers and effects, right? So if I don't want them searching through my wallet, my bag, I don't take any of it in. Right? So I just go
Right.
in there free of everything and make it right past them, right through the metal detector, and they cannot stand it. They can't. They have to find some way or some reason to start basically making an, it's like they made an employee policy and they're trying to hold me responsible to it
Yep.
because I believe that's all they can do is since they're employees, they can just make some kind of employee policy. And when I tell them I'm the authority, they want to take my authority from me so bad when they don't deserve it that they do nonsensical things.
Well, no
And
man deserves authority over another man. Give a damn who he is.
So the
right.
next,
So anyway, what I was saying is I miss it so much that when I come back out and they're saying nonsense to me and I go in to do my take care of my stuff and I come back out and I tell the security dude, they're going to come out here and educate you because you were speaking a bunch of nonsense. Then the policeman jumps in and tries to, and then tells me, you ain't got nothing to say and you're not going to talk to him. And it's just like, oh, they're going to come out here and say what they got to say to dude. But it's like me missing that opportunity to tell that policeman that, I got plenty to say and just start spewing on him. You know what I mean? Instead
yeah,
of
but
listening to him.
yeah, see, that's when we got to learn that we've got to get out of our emotions and use reason and logic. And that's that diplomatic etiquette that I always talk about because it's a much easier fight without getting into an argument with a fool because then you end up being the fool. See, you just don't argue with fools. So you just keep your rhetoric with them as minimal as possible. And that's it. That's my experience. So the next one we got cop lies about public easement. This is again a bullying tactic about knowledge that they're going to push because they don't think we know the law. And many of us don't. So it's again important to get yourself educated because these are the extreme lengths that they will go to try to say this man can't stand way out here in video.
Is there a law against that?
There is a law.
What is it? Quote it.
Wear a mask in public.
Quote it. Quote the law.
I don't need to quote it. You can look it up.
See, at this point, they're saying he can't wear a mask in public. Imagine that.
Well, you should have to quote it. You say you're acting under it, so you should have to quote what you're acting under.
Absolutely. And at this point, again, remember, folks, he's saying you can't wear a mask in public. While we still have all kinds of professionals, including some police officers, that are still wearing masks in public.
I'm telling you that you cannot wear a mask in public and you need to remove the mask.
Okay. I can't. I have health issues that require me to wear a mask.
Do you have a doctor's note?
And I don't need to carry a doctor note with me. No, I don't.
You do have to carry doctor's note. What is this, fucking Nazi Germany?
By the way, you got your hall pass, boy?
Code states that.
The Virginia code?
Yep.
Or is it a Roanoke County code?
It's Virginia code.
Virginia code?
Yep.
And you still don't want to quote the number?
It's under the healthcare professional. So I'll give you the number. I can look it up just like you.
Healthcare profession. Now imagine the healthcare profession says you can't wear a mask in public. Really? Where is their authority? Just like I questioned their authority to tell me I had to wear a mask in public. You see the problem?
I mean, you're not talking about HIPAA, are you? Because, I mean, that's a totally different ball of wax.
18.2.422.
What does it say?
You can read the code.
Okay, so I'll pull my mask down.
Great, thank you. And the second issue is you're on their.
Again, I don't agree. Okay, so I'll pull my mask down. No, I'm not going to do a motherfucking thing because statutes have to be implemented. Contract terms and conditions required to implement statutes or executive orders, commercial items, commercial products. Sorry.
Property, no, I'm not. This is public easement. No, it goes. Yes, this is, no, it doesn't. Those are public signs. This is public easement. There's sidewalk down there. Just because the sidewalk ends doesn't mean the public easement stops. There's a fire hydrant right there that's public easement. This is public easement. I can be here.
You're on their property.
No, I'm not. I'm not on their property. Okay, think real hard about what you're going to do here, because if you trespass me from public property, and I know this is public property.
And he's absolutely right. Public property and the easement that he's talking about on this road goes from the center of the road all the way over and encompasses this light pole. That's a public utility. See this other one with all the stuff at the top? That's a utility.
Yes.
So there's an easement that goes from here to the center of the road. And then when you get to the center of the road, it goes from the center of the road to the other side of the road to include any utilities and signs on that side.
Every road has an easement, and you know that.
And they want you to leave property.
I'm not on their property. Look, right there. Virginia Department of Highway and Transportation. That is a public place. I am in public. You cannot trespass me from a public right. No, it doesn't. Show me the GIS survey. If it went all the way to the road, that fire hydrant wouldn't be there. The fire hydrant would be on the other side of the road. This is public property. Is there a law against that?
There is a law.
Absolutely. If their property went all the way to the road, none of that stuff would be there. Those are public utilities. They would be at the property line, just like all the other ones are, except for your gas. So the next one, cop owned and dismissed by family guy who refuses to ID.
Cop just materialized next to this man parking his car, thinking a family guy with kids is an easy target. But instead, he slammed into an immovable brick wall.
Just checking the parking lots, man. Make sure you guys are doing okay.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Yeah. Okay, man. What's your name?
For what?
So there's a law that.
And in case you didn't hear that, that was a kid that answered in the background as well. So this guy's sitting in his car in a parking lot with his kids. And again, this is why it's so important to learn this stuff, so that when you have interactions, the kids can sit there and firsthand observance, watch how you do it.
This came out to where anybody I contact, I have to get your demographics that I contacted you.
Yeah, no.
Give me a full data report too.
Well, a new law just came out that says anybody I come in contact with. So that means he can go contact anybody he wants and just demand their ID. Right? And this guy is just total bullshit. And he's trying to play it on somebody that knows.
Yes.
No, that's not the law.
Yes, it is.
No, this is not a stop and ID state.
And also, when I run the plate,
okay,
it's coming back with a warrant. So I just want to make sure that you're not the person.
Nope, I'm not the person.
So can I get your name?
No.
And why not?
First, you said that you have to ID me. No, you don't. This is not.
You guys get that? I'm not the person.
The warrant. So I just want to make sure that you're not the person.
Nope, I'm not the person.
So can I get your name?
No.
And why not?
First, you said that you have to ID me. No, you don't. This is not a stop and ID state.
Says who?
The law. It's the law,
So
sir.
the law states now that anybody I contact, I need to get an ID.
No, I don't think so. That's not the law. You're scaring my kids. There's no point of this. This is ridiculous.
Wouldn't have to scare him if you were cooperative.
I'm just not going to give you.
Wouldn't have to scare him if you were cooperative. So he's admitting that he's scaring the kids, right? Is that terroristic behavior? I mean, Who in their right mind as a full-grown adult? I don't care if I'm scaring your kids.
I'm under the comprehension that we're all have been monitored our whole lives.
Oh yeah,
And and I was about to point out, this is probably the worst of it is the children, because they learn, they're soaking all of this in, and they're shaping and forming these minds of these children with this bullshit.
Yeah, it's a conditioning.
Yes.
And that's why I'm trying to impress upon people, you need to take back your own education because you've been conditioned. In that, with your own education, you can now teach your own children how to condition themselves. Again, to defeat one's opponent without fighting is of supreme excellence. So teach them how to get out of their feelers and stay away from that stuff and be able to be diplomatic and reasonable about it, to shut down the lies that prevent any further actions.
The key is balance.
Yep.
You all this free information for nothing. We're just sitting here. We're not doing anything wrong.
And like I said, when I ran the plate, it came back with the warrant hit, and I want to make sure it's not.
Sorry,
you.
it's not me.
Until I can get your name.
I'm not the type of person who releases my name like
that.
Name? No, absolutely not.
All right, sir. Have a good day.
All right, sir. Have a good day. Absolutely not. Do not give them information. Even if they have you on a reasonable, articulable suspicion, I'm sorry, I still have to invoke my Fifth Amendment to seek assistance of counsel and have counsel present at any questioning, period. And it doesn't have to be an attorney, folks. I'm not saying that. Assistance of counsel can be your dad that taught you the law. The next one. Illegal search goes wrong.
I was woken up by the noise of.
Illegal search goes wrong. Imagine.
This guy was woken up by the noise of cops searching his car without a warrant. And when the cops saw him, everything went south.
Sir, why you got my car door open?
I'm Officer Copaholic Special IV.
Why did you illegally go in my car, sir?
I ain't illegally.
You did. My door's open. I didn't open it, sir.
I'm going to explain it to you. Where's the plate at that's supposed to be on the car?
Why did you go in my car?
That's what I'm explaining to you. I'm asking you a question now. Where's the plate that's supposed to be on the truck?
It's on there. So I just want to know why you.
I'm going to take you to jail in a second. Is it registered with the same?
You take me to jail for what, sir?
Because I'm asking you questions, you're not answering me.
What law says I have to answer any questions?
Is that registered? So I'm going to tow it.
When you do, I'm going to sue you, sir.
Oh, feel free. That's fine. You got your ID?
No, but I got to show you my ID for you.
Because it's your truck. I need your ID.
No, you don't need my ID, sir.
I'm going to turn around. I'm not playing this game with you. Turn around.
Sir.
Give me your ID.
Don't put your hands on me, sir. Back off. When I'm under arrest.
All I want is his ID.
What crime did I commit?
Because you have
Stop
a
surrounding me. Back off me like that. Don't surround me. Tow it and I'll sue you.
We got called.
Call.
Guess what they got called for, folks?
We're here.
Yeah, we did for shots fired.
Shots fired. They couldn't find the guy with the gun that was reported shots fired. So they're just going to find something to make the call worthwhile, because somebody's got to get paid. So let's create the chaos. You see, it's just a mimic. The panelverse just mimics what's reality.
Shots fired. You go to my car.
This guy was woken up by the.
Shots fired because they couldn't find the gun, the guy that they were looking for. They're going to make another suspect by making up crimes that aren't crimes and threatening to take people to jail for committing crimes, again, that aren't crimes. You're not required to speak to the police. Period. You have the right to assistance of counsel. Officer arrested the actual owner for trespassing. Now, how do you arrest the owner for trespassing if you don't have a trespass from the owner? Okay? Pay attention, folks.
State trooper arrested the old man all because he thought he was trespassing, but what he didn't know that he was the actual owner of the property.
It's my understanding you're no longer allowed out here. Who told you that?
It's my understanding that you're no longer allowed out here. Then you must know who the guy is, and you must know who the owner is, because it would only be the owner that would tell you that.
The highway patrol.
The highway patrol. Well, that ain't the owner.
Patrol told you I wasn't allowed out there. You know who I am?
You tell me.
You tell me. Well, if you're out here telling me I don't belong here, then you must already know who I am.
You're the one said that you're understanding that I wasn't allowed out here.
Do you have ID on you? Can I see it? That's who I thought you were. I was told that you were out walking on the interstate.
That's who I thought you were. No, he didn't. He didn't know who the guy was. If he did, he wouldn't be doing this.
You're not allowed to be walking on the interstate.
Who told you I was walking on the interstate?
It doesn't matter, sir.
Yeah,
You need to go.
It doesn't matter, sir. Really? That's kind of like anonymous, like I mentioned earlier. It doesn't matter now. It only matters when they want it.
I'm sorry. I think sometimes what a nice disciplinary act would be for pieces of shit like this, right? And I think it would have to do with something humiliating. I don't know what it should be, but I think
like the early days when we just put them in stockades, bare ass naked in the public square, stockaded.
It ain't like an old dog, you rub their nose in it.
You need to go. I was being polite.
I'm not going nowhere,
sir. I've asked you once.
I'm not going nowhere. You got a court order says I got to leave the premises?
I don't have it with me.
Well, I ain't leaving.
Okay, turn around.
What's the reason for arresting him?
Failure to comply with the lawful order of a police officer.
But you
lawful order of a police officer supersedes ownership rights and possession. Supersedes a court order, supersedes the 4th and 5th Amendment of the Constitution, supersedes the 6th Amendment, that right to assistance of counsel. Jesus Christ, this guy is, I don't know how he could have been on the force as long as he was. This is insane.
Well, he's probably got a few plaques as well,
Absolutely.
He probably was.
You didn't show him a court order that
doesn't matter, sir.
Supposed to be
put
here.
The camera down.
Don't put the camera down. He ain't your boss.
Yeah, put the camera down. No, you don't. No, you don't. He ain't your boss.
Officer was fired immediately after the incident, and almost 2 years after filing the lawsuit, old man settled it for $250,000.
Yep. Awesome shit. See, it's got to happen more, folks. We got to start standing up so that these people will understand that we will put them behind bars, or we will put some money in our pocket from them. And I can imagine this probably came from the state because of certain things. But if you understand equity and everything, I believe we're going to be getting close to processes where we can go after these people privately and take their assets rather than the assets the people have been putting forward to pay them all their life.
Well, I'm one that believes the law is already there that handles these measures. It's just the we'll say the mental capacity of public service and their management. But that's about to get cleaned up. And if they don't figure it out, they'll be in a cage until they can get that corrected.
Yeah, and what Russ is talking about there when he says management, he's talking about officers on these forces that get hired way too young, and their mentality is not only skewed, but it's not trained according to the proper respect that an officer should have. And so management is the mentality of the age of the man. So if you have an officer like the one we just saw, who has the mentality of a 13-year-old trying to use idiotic claims, then he should be treated like a 13-year-old, meaning he shouldn't have a badge and a fucking gun.
Right.
Brian appears to almost open the door for the officers, or recalls the numerous videos of officers escalating a nothing burger call by putting their foot into a person's doorway, preventing the homeowner from terminating a consensual conversation when the officers don't have a lawful reason to enter the residence. For example,
Post your video, Scott. I don't mind.
I'm sending it to Lackluster, and
I'm not violating any rights.
you are right now. I want to close the door, and your foot's in the door, and you already know that it was just an argument on the phone.
or like this example.
Do you have a warrant to enter my property? You're holding my door open with no warrant. Okay, I'm gonna shut it. We'll see you guys in a little bit when you figure this out, all right?
Move out the way.
Oh, hey!
And when he reaches out to shut the door, which he has every right to do so, they yank him. That is assault and battery and kidnapping.
Yep. Actually, that's treason.
Yes.
Instead of informing the parent about why an immune government agency is suddenly interested in something his son watched at school, the deputies resort to insulting the homeowner, as if escalating a consensual encounter with aggression would convince him to allow them inside his home.
Absolutely. Escalate aggression, put them in fear so that they let you in their home. Otherwise, you don't have to. Notice he did not open the door. He went to a window. These guys are outside of a window here. Your house is your temple. They're not even supposed to be here. This is known as curtilage.
Right, because if they really had a right to be in the house, they'd have broke the door down. So anything that they're saying to you is like, it's just bogus.
Absolutely. It's all lies. Do never believe not one word a single police officer says. Even if you think he's an honorable man, make serious question of everything he says.
It's all fabricated.
Next one we got a couple from Delete Laws.
This young man had a concealed carry. He told the cop when he pulled him over, I have a concealed carry. The cop still put him in torture cuffs and then confiscated his firearm.
Hey, sir, can I get your name? You just took my gun from me. Can I get your name? Why you took my gun from me now?
It is a misdemeanor. You did not tell me that you were armed when you were stopped by the police.
You did not tell me you were armed when you were stopped by the police. Well, first of all, I want to know why I would be stopped by the police. Okay, let's not go beyond that issue. This video does not address that. The man does not address that. That's what I would have. Why were you even approaching me to stop me to begin with?
I got the concealed weapons permit back in the 90s, I guess somewhere around in the 90s in Kentucky. And when the son of a bitches pulled me over, I had my little boy in the car. There was 6 of them. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know, obviously this is a long time before any of this truth or shit. And then when I asked him, he said, well, it was because you had a gun in the car. You had that permit. We knew you had a gun in the car. I'm like, motherfucker.
They live in fear. Yeah,
it's like insane.
There is no reason to believe that everyone that carries a gun is going to use it against another man. So therefore, in that fear, you gather up a gang of people with guns to use it against another man because you fear.
Now, what Keith was explaining a minute ago with the whole management, let's be clear. Who should be looked at as the people that are hiring these folks?
Yep.
Because obviously they don't have the mental fortitude either. They shouldn't. If they're hiring these types of people, it's apparent they don't belong in those positions either.
Yeah, and that's why I say it's systemic. It goes up and down the ranks throughout the system.
Well, I actually believe I'm the top rank in Kentucky. So all you public officials, if you're listening, Andy Bajir, all of you guys,
Yep.
you know who it is.
The people are the ones.
Governor.
People are the ones that have the power if they just stand up, folks. You have to be like Russ says. You have to be the governor. You have to govern yourself.
That's right.
firearm and make some BS excuse. Oh, that's a misdemeanor. You didn't tell me. And then he says, no, I told you the moment I was getting out of the car, I have my firearm.
And I asked you what's the probable cause, right? When you pulled up on me, did you ask me? You said I'm pulling you over for what? Did you say that?
Oh, but for checking for guns and stuff, you don't need probable cause. Excuse me, shall not be infringed.
It's a terrible place to be arguing, man. I'm just being real.
Nah, but that's wrong. Y'all know that's wrong. I told him before he pulled me on the car, I got my arm gun on me. Did I say that?
But brother, if you got a legit complaint, you will win.
That's petty, bro. You being petty in front of them, bro.
Here's a young black man who did everything right. He got his concealed carry license. To get your concealed carry,
If you got a legit claim, you win. No, you don't. You have to have the knowledge and be able to construct that legitimate claim in a proper composition so it can be clearly understood and not denied. Exculpatory. Absolute innocence.
Well, because according to that, what we all seen, it seemed like the only way they could have confiscated his gun is if he had told them where it was, because what were they searching his car for? It's like in any of that stuff, for them to find a firearm that he didn't tell them means they had to do some kind of search. So he had to tell them he had it.
Yeah, he
He
wasn't
had
even
to
in a
tell them.
car. He wasn't even in a car. He's just on the street. What gave them the reason to approach him to begin with?
carry license, you have to have a clean criminal record. This man wasn't a criminal. He simply was bearing arms so he could protect himself in the dangerous city of Washington, D.C. This young man.
That's Washington, D.C., folks. That's the capital of this nation. Supposedly, one's supposed to be giving out a good example. The next one, we got lawyer catches prosecutor lying in court. This is why we have to understand these courts are nothing but a presumption, and that's it. And if you keep letting them presume, they will keep barreling forward. This is an excellent situation to explain how you stop them by objection, hearsay. The caller stated an intoxicated person was attempting to get into. There was no judgment, nothing other than that. And then the guy says we can infer. No, you can't. No, you can't.
But hey, Keith, you can. I mean, it depends on what you're inferring to, right? Because you can infer that it's just hearsay, right? I mean, in that aspect, you can't infer that he was breaking in.
Well, he's inferring. It's not about breaking in or anything. What he's doing is he made a statement that the caller stated an intoxicated person was attempting to get in the vehicle. Okay, that's fine. If you could take the judgment of the caller. So what happened there in his statement, his next statement, he said we can infer that by getting in the vehicle, his intent was to leave. So he confounded both the idea that the guy was intoxicated and that he was going to drive. You cannot do that. You cannot just make up evidence.
Something's muted.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, but I could just see words going. It didn't sound like you could hear the video.
Let's try it again because I'm back. I lost a connection there. You hear it now? Do you hear it now?
No.
Not the video.
How about now?
Mm-mm.
Let's try the next screen then, because we're done with that one. But the thing is, you cannot determine somebody else's intent without them saying so. And you cannot, absolutely cannot infer somebody else's intent.
Nope.
Okay. Let me drop screen share and I'll bring her right back up then. What the hell?
So you have no reasonable articulable suspicion that the arson.
That's it.
To be a dick. Call another sergeant here. You put your hands on me.
He just made up a reason to pull him over, but the reason wasn't there.
You unlawfully pulled me over. You unlawfully asked me to roll up my windows. You didn't see me with tints, so you have no reasonable articulable suspicion that they are tinted. You just did it to be a dick. Call.
And yeah, he did just do it to be a dick. But you understand how this guy sounds so escalated? Okay, that's one of the things I'm working on too, brother.
Because two wrongs has never made anything right.
Right. Letting the escalation of aggression get to you so that you become aggressive is what Nietzsche says about staring into the abyss and long enough, and the abyss starts looking into you. You become the beast. So don't do that. I mean, it's important to learn how to be a beast, to take the beast out. So it correlates. Yes, you can be aggressive, but when it's not at an aggressive state yet, don't sound aggressive.
Call another sergeant here. You put your hands on me.
I am all the
No,
authorization.
no, you put your hands on me. I want to speak to someone else.
Give me an ID.
No, absolutely not. He pulled me over for no reason, and he admitted that. Why did you pull me over? Let's get it straight now. Let's get it for the judge.
Pulled you over to check you for tint.
And now that you know that there's absolutely no tint on my window.
Absolutely no tint. He pulled him over to check for tint, and his windows were rolled all the way down so he couldn't even see them. So what's your reason to believe that they were tinted to begin with, let alone that they exceeded some kind of tint limit?
So what are you going to do now?
Okay, first of all, you don't have tint. You're not getting a ticket.
Perfect. So why you pull me over?
Exactly. So why you pull me over? If you'd have known that I didn't have tint before, you wouldn't never pulled me over. So your suspicion that I had tint was bullshit. You had nothing you observed as an officer to indicate that there was tinted windows. Nothing.
Unlawfully.
He said that he pulled him over for tint, but the windows are not tinted. So in other words, he pulled him over to do a fishing expedition to see if maybe there's a way he could charge him with other crimes.
Oh, you want to check me?
Yep.
Shouldn't you wait till you see if my windows are up and
That there is the face of a real troll.
I know. They should get him for tint on his glasses. Look at that.
What's going on here?
Just joking, though, because that dude's glasses are tinted.
Okay. So this guy is a definite troll. Oops. What happened there? Hit the wrong button. I need to do.
You trolled yourself. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. I trolled myself. But yeah, this guy is a definite troll. There is no reason. I mean, look at the age of this guy when we talk about that management.
Yeah,
Okay?
he should know better.
We should
Yeah,
not
you know
have-
that guy has grandchildren.
Yeah, we shouldn't have these
What
kind
an
of people on the
example.
force. Not what whatsoever. I don't know why that the people feel that these kind of people are serving and protecting us.
Hampton, and then actually me over, you idiot. Like, this is bad police, and I hope you have kids and a daughter that sees this. It's gonna go viral. You're
Absolutely. Blah, blah, blah. As he goes, blah, blah, blah.
me over, you idiot. Like, this is bad police, and I hope you have kids and a daughter that sees this. It's gonna go viral. You're such a goof, man. You're the worst cop I've ever seen. Yeah, you're worse than Andrew A. Smith.
Okay, bye.
Okay,
Okay, bye. And just walks off. No, this guy should have been fired. It's again, it is systemic, and there's not one reason in hell a man this age should be doing this to any other man. None.
Only thing I can say for them, brother, is they better hope it don't go down like I think it's going to go down. Because if it does, they're losing everything. They're losing everything.
They should.
And most importantly, they sold their souls.
Yeah, and that's why I think they should lose everything.
Exactly.
You can tell this guy has no peace in his mind for other
Total
men.
disregard.
Yep.
Logic is I could pull you over to check if you've been drinking. I'm just going to pull you over. I could pull you over to see if your baby's strapped in. What if you don't have a baby? This is some crazy ass shit, right?
It is. And we've got to stop it, folks. And it's we that's got to do it. They're not going to stop. They're going to keep allowing men to grow old in these professions doing this shit.
Well, I've already told them I'm the one master commissioning this post. Old Prospect, Kentucky.
Here's another one where they come up with all kinds of bullshit. And sometimes you know certain points of law and know how to present it. This guy, like the last one, the cop was an old man. This guy's an older guy, and watch how he handles this.
These rookie officers made a huge mistake when they thought that this man would be an easy target to harass, but they soon realized that the old man is way out of their league.
Are you detaining me? Yes or no?
At this point, yes.
For what violation of law?
I'm kind of worried that it might be a crime.
What crime?
I'm worried that maybe this car could be stolen, maybe that you have something in the car that...
You and I both know that there is no violation of law here, and you have no grounds to detain me. You're making up stories about a vehicle being stolen.
You're making up stories about a vehicle being stolen. That's a good point. That's the way I talk to him. You're just making up stories. That's worse than Santa Claus and Easter Bunny.
Yeah. But if people would learn, keep that mouth shut, that fish that keeps his mouth shut don't get hooked.
Yep. Well, this guy does a great job. Watch as he ends up driving off.
It's just super weird.
Sir, I'm not going to say anything further to you. I want an attorney. I want to plead the Fifth Amendment. Where are you going to go from here?
I don't know. Do you have a license to drive a car at least?
I said I am pleading the Fifth Amendment. Do you know what the Fifth Amendment is? Do you know what the Sixth Amendment indication of the right to counsel is?
I am very, very aware.
And do you think it's appropriate for you to continue to ask me questions?
I'm just trying to contact you and see what's going on.
I'm not required, sir.
I'm just contacting you. I'm just trying to contact you and see what's going on. Ain't none of your fucking business what's going on. Okay, again, another instance where he approached him and didn't know what the fuck was going on and just wanted to find out. He had no fucking cause to even approach him.
To help you in your investigation. You are unlawfully detaining me, and the longer this continues, the worse it gets. Cannot detain people without a violation of law. It's like talking to a brick wall. It's not my job to educate you. I'd like to leave. Okay, you're free to leave.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. You don't have Mitch Levin says you don't have the enforcement to stop it. Your only option is to stop worshiping what is wrong and do something better. Separation will bring harmony, not you going to battle with government. Yeah, we're not here to battle with government. We're here to help correct it by standing on the truth. And that's it. Hopefully they will take care of their business, because sooner or later, like Russ says, it might get up to another revolution. We hope not, but never know. And
Good to
yes,
see you, Mitch.
they have better weapons. And I did mention Nietzsche earlier as it relates to looking into the abyss long enough, and the abyss will look into you, relating or correlating it to that the simple thing that if you get involved in certain activities, you become the same type of person that does those activities. Or if you perpetuate them through other people, you become those same evil people. You are evil if you want to destroy evil. Remove yourself and let evil destroy itself. Sun Tzu, to defeat one's opponent without fighting, is of supreme excellence. They all correlate. Absolutely spot on.
I tell you what, it's good to see. I've known Mitch for quite a few years, and the growth in his self is speaks volumes.
Absolutely. It is working exactly how it is supposed to. And that's because it's a system that conditions people. And that's, again, why it says, I agree. Where was it? You said separate.
Right. That's the thing that gets me is like, in having that understanding is that in that conditioning, there's a lot of people out there that go against what those people just commented. They want you to stand up and meet violence with violence or do violence as a form of revolution, where the revolution only comes from not doing, not acting almost in any way whatsoever. And that's what would cause them to lose everything, because you give nothing, so they have nothing.
Right. And that's you can't correct government, but through separation, you can correct yourself. This is why I reiterate that 12-step prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know that's me. So I'm not here to change the government or anything. I hope to be able to be one of those great influencers one day. But until then, the only thing I can do is do better myself. And that's through change and better education.
Right. Because if you can't govern yourself, that's the whole process. People give that governing authority over to somebody that really doesn't even care about them, no matter what they say. If these people have to learn to govern themselves, right?
Yep. Yep. And Mitch says it again. I think we think a lot more alike than you might know there, Mitch. If we correct ourselves, government will fall into place. Who said that? If something about if the people are afraid, the government becomes tyrannical. But if the people stand up, the government operates under that fear of the power of the people. I can't remember the exact quote, but it's a powerful thing to reverse that psychology and understand your power of being the independent person, being that you are. Independent overreach is not the problem. It is the result of the lack of self-governance, because people reach out to that false patriarch wanting those extra benefits, the comforts and convenience. It's not overreach. You've been filling and gorging this government. It grew because you allowed it by giving to it. Absolutely.
These cops showed up fishing for a crime, but this lady intervened, and she was ruthless. The cops didn't stand a chance.
This is my private property. I'd appreciate it if you guys would leave. I do not want you guys here. Y'all are not allowed to open a closed gate. I do know that too.
What's a good number for you?
That goes to that curtilage we were talking about earlier. If you've got a gate around your property there, that's considered part of your curtilage to a certain extent. And they're not supposed to be going beyond that. So when you have your private property markers and they know the law and they're not supposed to go beyond those obvious markers that don't necessarily have to say private property, such as gates, then, you can put them on the spot.
You don't have to tell them anything. You have the right to remain silent.
Let me talk to you over here. And you
No, don't separate.
Let me talk to you over here. Exactly. She wants to separate. She wants to draw this guy off of the property into the public venue, and that's an error. That's a grant of jurisdiction by following a request, wherein then you are now directly involved in an investigation, and they can start giving you lawful directives.
I know the law. It would be stupid to separate. You're fishing for a case.
No.
Yep. And listen to her. She says, no. Yes, you are.
Yep.
Yes, you are.
I'd appreciate it if you get off my property.
You're just a roommate. We're here.
You're just a roommate. Really? She clearly said it's her property. Doesn't matter if she's a roommate of his or not. Because it's her property, it would mean he's her roommate and he can do as he wishes, but she's giving him good counsel.
I own this place.
Okay, we're talking.
Okay, and I have the right to ask you to leave.
We just have some simple little questions, okay?
I will be filing a report.
Yes, ma'am, no problem.
Go inside, Levin.
You're a grown man.
Exactly. You have the right to not speak to them.
Yes, you're a grown man going to sit there and tell a grown woman, try to tell you, you need to do this. We want to do this. Why, you got another grown woman who's obviously looking out for you, telling you, no, you shouldn't do that. This woman is evil.
I'm just asking to talk to you, but because she keeps interfering and escalating.
You call it interfering. You can leave now.
So I just wanted to talk to you for a minute.
And even though you're 16, you have the rights to, as a free citizen, to not talk to them as well.
These cops showed up fishing.
See, in another situation where the fence, they're inside where she has personal property sitting on her property. You're not supposed to be there.
Well, it also goes to what
I don't care what kind of badge or authority you think you have. Go ahead.
Right, but it goes to what you were saying. It's just like, that right to counsel. All that lady's doing is counseling those people, and that cop is having a problem with it when those people have that right to counsel and they're telling her she's interfering. It's like she's just counseling them.
Yep.
I think at the end of the day, and I wholeheartedly believe this, at the end of the day, these people do not have any authority without somebody embossing a wedding signature witnessing a crime.
Well, I wouldn't even go so far as saying that. You just two witnesses. Just two witnesses.
Well, right, but I'm saying somebody willing, there's two witnesses. Somebody willing to emboss that paper.
Well, you don't even have to emboss the paper. Again, just two witnesses you can put
Well,
on a
true.
statement.
Well, true.
That's it.
It shouldn't hold you back, but without that, I mean, there shouldn't be anything.
Yep. Now here's a great one. This guy, his demeanor and everything, and the way this officer responds is just awesome. This is from Cameron. I don't know if you guys know him, but he does a great job too as far as paperwork and things like that and base knowledge and all that. But this guy's interaction here is awesome.
You said that I am not free to go. Yep. So I must conclude that I am under custodial arrest and not simply in investigative detention. Therefore, I'm invoking all of my fundamentally protected rights, including my right to remain silent and my right to assistance.
Under a custodial arrest. So it's a distinction between just an investigative detention and a custodial arrest. They use the lights.
Of counsel. Sure. From this point forward, I do not consent to providing you with any information or documents that could or will be used against me in a court of law or to possibly incriminate me. So please do not ask me to produce anything and give it to you. Absolutely. From this point forward, please do not ask me to answer any questions or perform any tests relating to any matter whatsoever without my attorney present. Officer.
And Cameron's going to mention it here too, but notice how he said absolutely before, and here he just kind of nodded his head. He has to agree with it because that's absolutely, but he didn't want to say absolutely, right?
Mr. Gates, badge 5.
Look, he didn't want to
harm, injure, or punish me by any method of assault, arrest, or incarceration because I invoke these fundamentally protected rights.
Absolutely not. And again, he agrees. Absolutely not. He will not do that. He will not violate his fundamentally protected rights. So he agreed to the first one and the last one. But that thing about the assistance of counsel, he didn't want to say absolutely on that.
I'm not free to go.
Yep.
So I must. You said that I am not free to go.
Yep.
So I must conclude that I am under custodial arrest and not simply an investigative detention. Therefore, I'm invoking all of my fundamentally protected rights, including my right to remain silent and my right to assistance of counsel.
Sure.
From this point forward, I do not consent to providing you with any information or documents that could or will be used against me in a court of law or to possibly incriminate me. So please do not ask me to produce anything and give it to you.
Absolutely.
From this point forward, please do not ask me to answer any questions or perform any tests relating to any matter whatsoever without my attorney present. Officer Gates, badge 5,
Look, he didn't want to
harm, injure, or punish me by any method of assault, arrest, or incarceration because I invoke these fundamentally protected rights.
Absolutely not.
So yeah, it's knowledge is good, and rhetoric and diplomatic etiquette is, in my opinion, the best way to do it. Again, Sun Tzu, to defeat one's opponent without fighting is of supreme excellence.
Well, it's such crazy times. I just don't leave much room for small talk as far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And we're going to take a break real quick here, because this is one of my concerns as well. You know, Mitch makes a good point here, and this is why I'm not monetized. I do have a PayPal link. If everybody wants to share some love, go ahead and feel free to hit that. Every little bit is appreciated. But he says Cam has done a great job of turning his responsibility into a business opportunity. He also takes people away from real solutions with false hope. He is willing to work with frauds to boost his channel. I can see that.
Well, who's Cam? Do I know Cam?
Cameron, the guy that was in this video here.
Oh.
People's rights or something like that. Same with delete laws. Yeah. Anyone can push paperwork.
I know. It's kind of like what that guy was saying.
When they push that paperwork, man, they don't realize they're feeding the beast.
That's why I said earlier, I do my best not to deal with too much paperwork anymore when it comes to these courts. All my stuff is now private communications, specifically with the local mayor, and I will give him certain documentation on research information that I've gained to let him know of that knowledge. So,
because I don't understand too. Some of it is when they go, hey, if you just give us your ID or you just provide this and you just do that, that they're trying to claim that they're doing that to help them when everything that they're doing can and will be used against them in a court.
They're basically saying there's a need and they're providing the service for that need and you agree to it.
Yeah, and that was the distinction earlier with the service call. You know, it was somebody that needed a service. It wasn't a crime. So it wasn't something that somebody observed as a criminal action and then called the police to handle it as a criminal investigation. It was just merely a request for service. So the next one we got is a St. Peter's man continues battle with city over sunflowers for the 4th year. Now this is I mentioned here a few videos back the thing about how they just change policy when they run into a problem where they can't win or somebody beats them, they change their policy, right? This is one of those situations. So we have to pay attention to this. And again, that goes to the point of separation. You know, we have to understand that those city policies and ordinances don't necessarily apply to us unless we apply ourselves in some unknown way. So we have to start doing our research and find out what those connections are. Registering your children for school is one of those minimum state contacts that provides a implementation of the statutes under a residency. It's that simple. One contract. And it was merely an application to register your children for a public benefit. Imagine what the benefit is then.
All the sunflowers I grow every year. I've been doing it for about 4 years now. It's been an uphill battle with the city of St. Peter's from day one, year one, when I started. Apparently there was a issue with the sunflower law in St. Peter's where you couldn't have more than 50% ratio of grass to sunflowers. As you can see in the background, there's quite a few sunflowers and it may look like that, but actually, if you look at the lower surface, there's a lot more grass than sunflower ratio. I believed I was okay. St. Peter's thought different. So that first year, we took us all the way to trial, and then they dropped the charges after the first year. You might have saw the episodes on Fox with Elliot Davis.
And like I mentioned earlier, this system is used to condition people, okay? So Sophia Daisy May says, looking back at what my parents were forced to do, it's really mind-blowing what all society has became. Your parents weren't forced. We were indoctrinated, just like they were, just like their parents were. And this is a conditioning through a societal set of norms, a democratic set of norms. That's all it is. When you learn what those conditions are and how they conditioned you, you can recondition yourself. Again, I'm not here to change the government. It works the way it works for a reason. And if the people condition themselves to interact with it appropriately as authoritarian figures and not as slaves or subjects or things like that, just change their concept of the real position that they play in this life when it comes to this government, and manage, govern yourself. And then the government has one less being to govern.
From that very first year with the interviews with the city mayor and the other city officials, everything seemed to be pretty good. Started up year number 2. I thought everything was okay. Since they dropped the charges, I figured they had changed their mind. I was wrong. I had got their second letter about the sunflowers with the 50% ratio. When I went to court to show that I was below the 50% ratio, I found out the city of St. Peter's had changed their actual own law. And now the 50% ratio was still there, but they didn't have to measure. It was up to their interpretation. If it looked like it was more than 50%, that was good enough. Here's your fine. Obviously, I was not happy with that new information. When a city has to change their own ordinance on a same situation.
So they had to change an ordinance so they could try to make this man bow, bend at his knees, and say, yes, Almighty One, to a false patriarch that was in his or her feelings at a city council meeting and decided, no, we can't have that. Who the fuck are these kind of people? Excuse my language.
What's weird? It's weird is what they changed it to, because the dude said they never changed the 50% part. They just changed the part where we could say, if it looks like it, we don't have to measure. That's how I think nonsensical it actually got to, is we can just say it is. We don't have to prove nothing.
Yeah, just like the officer on the side of the road, right? Just like Russ was pointing out, they get the authority to do and behave like that from somewhere, right? Where do you think they're getting it from?
And that speaks volume. The city of St. Peter's found me guilty of growing too many sunflowers. I had an option to appeal for St. Charles County. I did file the appeals, and we actually issued another trial date in St. Charles County this time instead of out of St. Peter's, this time with a jury. The jury got picked, and right before the jury trial, again, the city of St. Peter's had withdrew the charges this time. So that way they may be followed up to be recharged again.
So they're withdrawing, they withdrew charges so they could do what? Go change the policy again.
That did not go well with me. I knew something probably wasn't right. And so that chance to settle all of that in front of a jury and be done with the whole sunflower situation was not going to happen because St. Peter's pulled out. After that, we are here now this year. I did the same thing over again. I got my first letter of the too many sunflowers again, except now the city of St. Peter's went in and changed their own ordinance just for me to now call the sunflowers a crop. So now in the city of St. Peter's, you can't have more than 10% sunflower in your front yard because it's considered a crop.
Interesting, huh? So let's, like I mentioned earlier, let's change one little word.
Never stop.
So now as you can see, I did not remove the sunflowers. We're going to go through this court all over again for year number 4. So I have that upcoming here in September. I don't believe the sunflowers are a crop. I believe the sunflowers, as many as my neighbors do as well, and many other people.
Isn't sunflower a God-given herb, fruit, nut, seed, bearing?
It amazes me the level of overreach. These people try to involve themselves into someone else's business.
Yeah, because when does that guy get to ask for damages? I mean, 4 years of just wasting this dude's time and effort and energy just to keep jacking with him.
Yeah, and that's the other
Think
aspect
about the
of it.
money the finances that it costs. Let's don't even call it finances anymore. Let's call it for what it really is: resources.
Exactly. They see this is a commodity crop, right? As they call it, a crop. This is a commodity, right? A commodity can be exchanged privately in a private contract from man to man. That's what they're subverting. They're demanding that they be a third party to control his contracts with these sunflowers.
See the sunflowers as not just beauty, but how well they help the environment. There's lots of hummingbirds, many bees pollinate through here day in, day out. I do take care of the yard, as you can see here, and trim it by hand to make sure it's not an issue with any of the neighbors or the front yard area. But as you can see here, I'm not going to quit this fight until this gets settled, at least settled the correct way.
The correct way. And you're absolutely right, Sophia Daisy May. When the bees are gone, we are all done for sure. One of the importance of having these, quote, crops. Absolutely. Absolutely. And real quick here, we are going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Everybody enjoy the shit show.
I think that guy should say he has a natural habitat, not a crop.
It's a shit show, but it's a hit, yo. Panel full of talkers, all bark, no soul. Drama's on tap, spilling fast and loud. Dollar signs flashing when they rile the crowd. Super chats rolling, they pay for the beef. Truth takes a backseat, clouds the belief. It's a shit show, baby, primetime gold. Numbers climb high while the morals get sold. Turn up the heat, let the chaos flow. Ain't about truth, it's a rodeo. If the views keep coming and the cash still grow, I'll stop the circus, let the madness go. Fake tears fall and the mic gets cut. One's playing victim, the other talks tough. Receipts get dropped, now the chat's on fire. A digital bonfire built from liars. But every low blow makes the money ring, so they keep on dancing in that drama swing. It's a shit show, baby, primetime gold. Numbers climb high while the malls get sold. Turn up the heat, let the chaos flow. Ain't no God truth, it's a real deal. If the views keep coming and the cash still grow, I stop the circus, let the madness grow. There's a spotlight just clicks away. They don't care who they bury, as long as someone pays. It's a shit show, baby, but the lights still shine. Even fake crowns look good online. One big game where the real get played, but the scoreboard's few, so the lights stay paid. Yeah, it's messy, ugly, and kinda slow, but welcome y'all to the shit show.
And it looks like we lost the fallen one. But let's get back to it with our next video. Again, just showing you that this is systemic throughout the system. Anybody who thinks they have authority will try to make you bend at the knee.
There you go. Stop. Stop. I got it. I got it. I got it. No one else in the car.
They've got this man out of his car, face down on the ground, with guns pointed at him, because he's already beaten them in court. So they're trying to intimidate him further and make him bend at the knee.
Got it. I got it. Yeah, I got it.
And welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to learn about Teddy Pitt.
And yes, this is Direct D. I believe he was in chat earlier. Let me see here. That really ruffles their jimmies when you don't do what all the other slaves do. Crash is 82.
And his multiple lawsuits against the Colorado Police Departments. The first lawsuit in the series happened on April 3rd, 2019, when Teddy Pittman was literally just swarmed by the police and forcibly identified. This later resulted in a settlement. The second lawsuit in this three-part series happened on September 30th, 2019. And this happened when he took his son to the hospital because there was an accident, and the hospital didn't like that he was recording them once they decided that they wanted to do more tests because they believed there was something more serious happening with the child. This led to him being arrested for recording. And
so the medical staff thought maybe there was child abuse going on. So they were going to assert their authority as a medical associate. So again, understand, folks, these medical doctors take Hippocratic oaths to Apollo and the Greek gods. If this is a Christian society and you're a Christian and you don't want those I don't even know how to explain it. They're certainly confused. Let's put it that way. If you don't want those confused kind of people dealing with your children, then don't take them to those confused people. Same with the police. Why do we have these confused people enforcing laws that they can't comprehend?
I don't understand why we're depending on some sort of I don't know, aka agency or hell for the another man or a woman to guarantee that our children are safe. We should already know that. We should.
Well, we should be the ones
That's the way
providing
to
that
guarantee
safety.
anything.
We should be the ones providing that safety, and in that safety, we should know what the health risks are.
Give
That
away compassion, and we'll build communities of care.
and that health risk is best taken care of, in my opinion. Again, if we go back to the holistic and agrarian lifestyle, where we learn to observe Mother Nature and what she has to offer, and not have to deal with these damn doctors who have this insane urge to think, well, maybe that bruise is from child abuse. We better get the police involved, tear this family apart to find out if there's something wrong. And then if there's not anything wrong, then we'll provide them services to put them back together. Humpty Dumpty sat on a motherfucking wall. Haven't you learned your lesson?
And I mean, honestly, though, Keith, brother, to all the Christians out of here, I mean, if we were to judge and we were to judge from the basic, simple 10 Commandments, does any of this make sense to any of you?
Not many, I'm sure. I hope it's getting across, because that's, again, folks, don't believe me. Don't believe the neighbor. Don't believe the government. For crying out loud, don't believe your mother. Do your research so you know. Because this is imperative, that if you want to take back your authority, you have to have that authority. The only way you can have the authority is know what the authority comes from. Knowledge.
Now we come to the final lawsuit. That's the one that you're watching right now. This is currently being litigated in court, but will probably be settled because they arrested and had him detained on the ground like that, and it wasn't the right guy.
Had the wrong guy. Imagine that.
Right.
How can you have the wrong guy when he's already sued you twice? Don't you think you would know this guy? No, let's take him out of the car and put him face down on the ground and then realize it's the wrong guy. I don't buy it for 1 minute.
You got on back on?
So you got something in front.
Roll this one.
What's your name?
See the clip.
The gun's still in the car, probably.
Notice he's totally silent. And he said something about a gun in the car, probably. Still probably.
What's your name, man? So now we're code 4 on Parker.
Fish that don't open his mouth doesn't get hooked.
Hey, guns right here in the Crown Royal bag.
You guys have a
Guns right here in the Crown Royal bag.
Morpho? We can get one. Little donor. All right, I'm gonna open up Parker. Hey, put him over on the curb.
Look at all these cops.
If this went down as retaliation, I would sign the papers for treason.
And see, now he's going to unblock the street. Evidently, his street name is Parker.
Hey, coming up! Who's that guy?
I'm not kidding. See, I think that's what might need to be done. The community might need to gather and get behind a certain couple individuals that have that certain spiritual foundation and faith that will not bend and will stand against these people.
sort out who he actually is. So he got tats on his arm. Yeah. And I see you saying he had tats on his arm.
In them courts.
Yeah. What about? Did you look at it? Yeah. Because when she was copying him, you could see the tats on his arm.
Yeah, that's kind of a exceeded idea.
Like,
not identifying yourself.
Well, we could probably try to get a fingerprint scanner down there.
But the goal would be to charge them with treason.
Is there anybody with a fingerprint scanner that can respond down here?
Any unit with a fingerprint scanner? Any unit with a fingerprint scanner that can respond to 209's call?
That would be the mission.
See, one of the things here too, it could be, I'll concede it could be that they didn't know who he was. But see, this just shows the flaw in them wanting to require ID for nothing. If you got something, you would think you would know them. And in this situation, they evidently think they got something, but the something they've got, they don't know the identity. I mean, why are these guys going on presumption?
It's insane. Huge waste of resources.
Absolutely.
Huge.
So now we got a passport on it.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Look at all these officers. How many people does it take to make sure that the one you're violating is in fact the one you want to violate, or that you're looking to violate? You should have a knowing, but that's the last thing they have.
Guys, we're gonna beat it.
Okay.
And those resources are from the house.
You don't have to lay there like that. So you can sit up now.
We got good ID, so it's not our target. Okay. We can check for Malpo, and obviously I don't know if they have to open there or whatever. But there's no jurisdiction for the
I would agree, Dr. Diaz.
So push it as far as you want or don't want.
Absolutely.
It looks like he has a CDL, like he's not.
There's but one authority, and it comes from the Most High.
Let's see if I can, you know, once again.
Well, yeah, if you look at the root of authority, it's author. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So God is the author, God is the authority. That's where we get our power. And that power is a providence of grace, a providing of favor. We are favored through the providing of knowledge if we observe what he favors us with, which is the material world. He gave us dominance.
When you're constructing words, you're actually painting pictures.
Yep. You listen to my song, huh?
Well, no, I mean, I know
this man is clearly not willing to be a victim of this police department, which is evident.
Well, that's pretty close to parts of a verse that I've got in my Lippy song.
Oh yeah,
or not Lippy, Lickety Split. I'll play.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't kidding you. I've done told them I believe I'm the top dog here in the state of Kentucky.
Well, you got to act like it. You got to act like you've got that ye are God's authority.
What's crazy? My father's name is actually Manning.
Yeah, man up.
This current lawsuit is
I'm
still
manning
being
this
litigated
damn
in a Colorado
post.
federal court. For more context of the situation, let's listen to what the news put out about this.
April 2020, with guns drawn, Aurora police are pulling over a man. I got it. Officers are working with Denver police and the Department of Corrections to find a fugitive they know is black.
I was afraid, I was a little stressed.
But what they don't know at this moment, as they point guns at his head and body,
I was just trying to obey the orders. I didn't want to make any distinctive movements outside of what they were directing me to make.
Someone else in the car.
Teddy Pittman is not the fugitive they're looking for.
I think he demonstrated exemplary control and composure in that moment. Just a testament to he was minding his own business.
As police check out Pittman's identification.
What's your name, man?
Interesting how that guy put it, huh? Minding his own business. And yet somehow the police thought it was their business.
Another officer claims there's a gun in Pittman's car.
Hey, guns right here in the Crown Royal bag.
But court records show a gun was never found in the Crown Royal.
No way. They wouldn't lie on body cam just to make it seem like something, huh? They would never lie, right?
Back.
It's a lot of loose change.
Police ran Pittman's name in their computers and did not find any warrants.
Not our target.
One of the officers then told an Aurora police officer,
Not our guy.
It's not our target. Remember, you're a target. It's not our target. It's not our guy.
he's not our guy.
Push it as far as you want or don't want. But
Do what you want.
it's not who we represent.
For Pittman, what did suck was not only the fear of the moment, but the traffic ticket police gave him before letting him go.
It's mind my own business. I went to see a
Yeah, you got to give him a traffic stop. They didn't pull him over for a traffic ticket. They pulled him over because they thought he was a fugitive with a warrant.
friend. I went to visit a godmother.
A citation for a suspended license and bad left turn. After Pittman filed complaints, the judge dismissed the ticket in the best interest of justice.
The police in this case essentially went nuclear on use of force.
Through his attorney, Pittman filed a lawsuit against Aurora Police, Denver Police, and the Department.
You mean they gave him a traffic ticket for a suspended driver's license? And the judge dismissed that too? See, your right to travel is embedded in your freedom of speech.
of Corrections alleging excessive force and racial profiling.
It was just I think it was just an irresponsible use of force.
This stop happened in April of 2020, just a few months after the death of Elijah McClain. It was during this time period when an independent investigation found Aurora Police has a pattern and practice of racially biased.
No way. Aurora Police has a pattern and practice of racially biased policing and excessive force. I'm betting it's not just Aurora Police. Like I said, it's systemic. And the more you feed it with your fear, the more systemic it becomes. It spreads out into teachers and doctors and other people that pose they have authority. And because you think they have authority, you grant them authority in fear. In fear that they will take your children away or destroy your family. Whereas if you just stand on truth, they can't destroy it.
Maybe that Aurora meant the aura of all police.
Policing and excessive force. That same year, this video went viral showing Aurora Police pointing guns at a black mother and several children after mistaking their car for stolen. We reported this month there's a tentative settlement in that case.
Mistaking their car for stolen. I want to remind you, they've got these people on hot pavement. Aurora, Colorado. Hot pavement. Summertime, they're all wearing shorts and light shirts. And all these people think it's okay. And not a one of them has confirmed that the vehicle is in fact stolen. Not a one of them knows shit.
Is this even humane?
That's what I'm pointing out.
Regardless of who you are, regardless of what color your skin is, you have a right to be treated with dignity, right?
Pittman says he was afraid for his life during the encounter.
People are either, physically assaulted or, fatally shot.
Aurora Police, Denver Police, and the Department of Corrections would not comment for the story. All three agencies cited the pending litigation. Tom and Kim, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Jeremy.
So yeah, another good afternoon of some insanity from the those powers that be. The law is for thee and not for me. What do you think, Russ?
Shit. Same old shit. I mean, I just don't even understand how grown-ass adults that especially have children and families of their own think that this kind of behavior can continue to go on and somehow their children's futures are going to be secured by their actions. I mean, it's just it's to me, honestly. I'm speaking from the heart here. It's as if the whole world is in some kind of mental illness, to where they all claim to be these righteous Christians, but yet if we just looked at the 10 Commandments as a basic guidance tool, does any of this make sense to that?
Exactly.
Come on,
And that's,
people. Come on.
And that's why I say, I'm not a Christian, but those Christian scriptures, from my interpretation, they give me pretty good guidance in various different situations, particularly like Corinthians 1 and 2. Those are talking about your psychological aspects in the worldview, aligning with the way, the light, or the way, the truth, and the life of Jesus Christ in those elements of love, and how you put those forward as caring for your fellow man and not expecting rewards and exaltation and things like that, and just being kind to each other, owing no man anything but to love one another, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. All those unique sayings and cliches. It's a simple, basic concept. And I think if we can get closer to that individually, then that will start emanating out in the grander scale, and people will be able to come away from this government, like we were talking about earlier, separating and being able to deal with each other on a more constructive level, such as contracting. But until we learn how to deal with each other emotionally, that's not going to come about.
Sad thing about it. The sad thing in all. Go ahead.
Dr. D-Head says, a wise man can stand corrected. Appreciate the further illustration. And that's why it's important to be open and not be so ready to fisticuff, and rather defeat the opponent by knowledge. You have to be open to that knowledge and be able to come to terms of agreement with those other people in your life that you're dealing with. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Well, we're all sinners. None of us are saints. But I look at the children and all of, I have some principles that I kind of go by. And when I say these things like two wrongs make no thing right, I'm thinking about the children and their future. These are the things that we have to correct. So they actually are protected, because these communities are built on compassion and care for one another.
They're supposed to be. That's what the number one thing about
exactly
about this safety and protection and providing and this welfare and everything, is that they have a community care concern, and that's for the public good. So it's not an individual care. And that's
right.
Totally different than that in the scriptures. Because if you're going to care for the whole, greater than the individual, this is the lost sheep, then you're probably going to lose the whole. And that's what you were talking about earlier. You have a sense that it's going to come to a revolution. And
I think that revolution, though, is I think that, let's just so we're clear, I think that revolution is going to be in one's own mind when they balance out that compassion, and then that care, comes in, I believe, from a conscious state of mind. Because I believe people are good people. Generally, it's the hype and it's the stirring of the pot from every angle. It's like New Guru. I don't know who this is.
Yeah,
but I want nothing but the best for him and his or her and their families. And if I can't want the best for him or her, how can I expect that for my children and their future when I'm gone.
Yep, and that's why
How?
I urge everybody, as you know, my captive audience is usually anywhere from the at least the analytics say anywhere from 35 to 65, and so those people are the ones I'm urging to start learning. If you're think you're done and you're retired, or you're set in your ways and you're going to concentrate on this one thing the rest of your life, I urge you to go far beyond that. You have such greater capabilities in your private lives of learning more, particularly about other people in your family and friend circles and what they do in life, by learning about them to help improve yourself. This is truly what our friendships and relationships are about, is being able to meld our personalities together. And I'm able to use better character traits of this friend and emulate them in myself to make myself better. And I'm able to do the same with this friend of a different character trait. And that whole group, if we concentrate on that, that's, and it's an altruistic aspect of it, but that's truly what our intent is. I firmly believe that no life would be existing just to become extinct, but rather to gradually progress. I don't know. But New Guru says the sooner folks take measures to defend themselves from these abusive attacks, the sooner this stuff starts to change. And that is why nothing is changing, with no sign in sight for it to do so. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And therefore, the true measure of defense, the benefit to rebuild yourself and or not be destroyed, is knowledge.
Well, I would say this to hope to encourage others out there, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that's going to, will see this video at some point in time, to hope to inspire them to stand up. And if anybody in that aspect is having troubles in any part of their life, and they're coming from a faith of the belief in the Most High, you can reach out to me at any time, and I will go to war for you.
Well, that's what we're supposed to do, and to that end,
I will go to war for you
in a substantive way and for substantive means. And again, this is why I reiterate that Sun Tzu, to defeat one's opponent without fighting, is of supreme excellence. And it's because of that why I firmly believe that knowledge is the way. Start educating yourself. In that education, you become experienced through firsthand experiences. This is much like your muscle memory as a weightlifter or a bodybuilder. When you start incorporating this stuff, you're conditioning yourself to behave a certain way, and you're able to govern that conditioning and the behavior, the way you want to behave in those certain instances. So my case, for instance, I deal with the community leaders in a much different way than I've become accustomed to over the last years because of the court situation. I've learned a much more diplomatic way of approaching them, and that's because of the equity that I learned in my research and going to them in private, which correlates with Matthew 18, verse 15. If you have aught with your brother, go to him in private. If he hears you, you have gained your brother. So why do I need everybody else to hear me if all I need to do is say it to this guy, or make a proponent of a community concept in front of an entire city council and the rest of the community? Those are different situations.
Well, if it makes sense, what ought to be done shall be done. If we're all talking in good faith here, man, and I want the best for you and you want the best for me, what the fuck is the holdup?
Yep.
What's the holdup?
And this is the part about to defeat your enemy without fighting. you walk away from the fight. If they won't leave you alone, do what you need to do to defend yourself physically. This is Nietzsche. You have to be a beast in order to defeat the beast. In other words, if somebody's coming at you as a beast, you have to be able to defend yourself by being the beast. You can't, there comes a point where you can't walk away. You have to fight. So you may as well learn how to be that beast. Learn both sides.
Exactly.
Learn how to put that sword in its sheath and learn how to fight both. So anyway, with that, we come to the end of the show. You got anything on the way out, brother?
I'm sorry. I'll end like I always do, but I would like to get a few minutes with you at some time or another, because I think you will take interest in what it is. But I would just encourage everybody to really think about the children in a lot of this. I mean, we hear a lot of negative about a lot of things, but we don't hear the trauma and the things that are happening to these children, that these things, that all this that everybody's going through. So, and within that, hopefully, inspire people to do better. And remember, popularity without a positive purpose secures none of our children's futures.
Correct.
Much love.
Appreciate you, brother. Just hang out in the background, and I'll be with you in a minute. Let's see here. And you guys know me. I hope everybody's paying attention, taking to heart that the only one that can improve yourself is you, and the only way to do that is through improved knowledge, learning, gaining insight from others. And the way you do that is by attracting others so you can pick up their character traits to make yours better. With that, you know me, I love you, but I don't give a rat's ass whether you love me back. And that's say, I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you don't respect me. That's on you. So may God bless you and have a good day. We'll see everybody next time.